Good evening, everyone out there in the NoDQ galaxy. This is the NoDQ post Summerslam 2019 video. We are here in Ontario, Canada. We witnessed the show in person and we have a lot to say about it, so we'll go ahead and get started here in just a minute. I am being joined by the ladies of NoDQ, Caitlin, of course, and female Aaron. We are very happy to be doing this video because we had a good time at SummerSlam. We had a fun meetup earlier in the day. I would like to thank everyone that showed up for the NoDQ.com meetup lunch that we had, walked around downtown, and then we had the show. And one thing I'm happy about, for those of you that have been watching my videos for a while now, I'm happy that the show did not go overly long. I am definitely relieved that we're back here. We were not expecting to be back this early doing this review video. We thought we would still be watching the show. So before we get to the matches, we'll give our overall thoughts on the show, maybe give you a little bit of an idea, the vibe going into this. So Caitlin, I'll start with you. Your expectations going in and overall, how you feeling?
Well, I think the show exceeded my expectations actually, so I'm happy about that. Only a couple matches that were kind of dead time for me personally, so I liked it a lot.
Fair enough.
Aaron?
I don't know if it exceeded. It may have met my expectations. I didn't really have, I don't know, I didn't really have expectations. I guess. But the first half of the show, I was honestly kind of bored. And then around the KO Shane match, I got a lot more into it, which is interesting because I wasn't excited about that match at all. I think I was just so excited to see Shane lose that, yeah, I got into it. So I think from then on, I enjoyed the show a lot more.
Well, I think a lot of people were wanting to see Shane lose, but we'll get to that in a few minutes. Let's start off with the SummerSlam kickoff. So they changed things up a little bit. We did have the Cruiserweight match moved to the kickoff, and then we had 2 additional matches added. The first match was Drew Gulak defending the Cruiserweight Championship against, how do you pronounce the name?
Oney Lorcan.
Thank you for that. And we have our first Super Chat of the night. So real quick, Josh Mansfield was the champion at the end of the night. So shout out to Josh Mansfield, and also a shout out to Boston Punk, who became the new champion during Greg Cherry's stream earlier today. However, Rob Klein, who is now part of the NoDQ review panel with a $5 super chat, says, looks like 10 counts only matter sometimes. Catch me on the NoDQ review at NoDQ Vice. Also, Virtue is the super chat champion. So how about that? Virtue, if you're watching this right now, you're the new NoDQ super chat champion. Amy, could you do me a favor? In my bag over there, I think is the Super Chat Championship. Thank you so much. That is Aaron's sister, Amy, who was also with us for the show.
She's probably going to just hand it to me.
While you're
That's
killing
fine.
a second, I need to grab something as well.
Okay.
Sorry, guys.
There you go.
Okay, Caitlin's stepping away. So here you go, Rob Klein, new Super Chat Champion. Aaron, your thoughts on this match? I mean, not really much to say about it.
It wasn't your typical cruiserweight match. I feel like it was a lot more. You expect to see like flips and stuff, and it was not like that at all. So I was kind of bored by it, honestly.
Yeah, it didn't really feel like a cruiserweight match. You know, the type of match you would expect with a lot of high risks and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah. So I was not what I expected.
Yeah, it was just a match. It was just basically a standard match to warm the crowd up.
Agreed.
And then we had the second match, which was a bonus match, Buddy Murphy versus Apollo Crews, which interestingly enough, I felt had more of the cruiserweight type of spots than the cruiserweight title match.
Yeah, for sure.
I was a little surprised by this because I figured, Buddy Murphy would just win and that would be it. But we actually had a little bit of a storyline advancement where Eric Rowan hit the big boot on Murphy and that caused the DQ. Now, I was figuring, okay, this is going to lead to something else later on the show, but there was no follow-up. No Daniel Bryan on this show.
Nope.
No Roman Reigns. So I guess we'll get to that real quick because there wasn't really much to say about the match itself. So, Caitlin, what were your thoughts on there being no angle with Daniel Bryan and Roman Reigns? Were you let down by that, or do you think it was good because it kept the show shorter?
Good because it kept the show shorter, but it was weird that they did like a really long segment on Roman and everything, and then just didn't follow it up.
Yeah, they had that giant recap, and then so I assumed we were definitely going to get a match added once we got that recap.
Yeah.
I expected that to happen, and then
Right then,
it went to like Trish and Charlotte, so we were like,
Yep, that was that.
all right then.
Jumping ahead of the game here, but
That's fine.
That's okay.
So, Aaron, any other thoughts on Roman not being there? I mean, Strowman wasn't there. Were there any people that you felt like could have helped the show by being part of it?
Honestly, no, because I'm not a big Roman fan in the first place. Daniel Bryan hasn't really been in a significant storyline, and same with Strowman, so it didn't hurt me not seeing them.
Well, there you go. I mean, I felt it was a positive to not have these guys on the show because you don't have to have them on every single card. It's not mandatory
Yeah, that's a good point.
to have everybody on the show and cramming all the stars on one show.
You get a lot more pointless matches too because they just try and give people matches, and then you're
Yeah.
Exactly. All right, Josh Mansfield with a $5 super chat says, since in title matches, what matters is who retains. And since my predictions video was up before the 2 kickoff matches came out, 10-0, clean sweep. So congratulations.
Good job,
Not only
Josh.
Josh Mansfield is the new super chat champion, but he also had a clean sweep. As did I, by the way. All 10 matches that we officially predicted,
You
I
did?
got. I did.
Oh, I didn't.
good job.
And we'll
I did
talk
not
about
either.
that more later. Although I'm not sure. We have to do the tiebreaker. I think a couple of us all tied with our predictions. So we're going to have to do a tiebreaker
Oh,
where...
Here goes, yeah, alright, anyway.
Yeah,
Goodbye.
please ban that person. Thank you.
Yes.
So next up we had Elias doing a concert in the ring. And we pretty much called this one. We figured he would make fun of the Toronto, what is it? The
Maple Leafs.
Maple Leafs for not having a Stanley Cup. And I think Virtue even predicted his exact
So
lines.
she-
Yes, and which
Yeah.
is funny because it's true. Sorry, Leafs fan.
Yeah.
You were on the clock there.
Yeah, we were all getting a kick out of it because, well, we're from the United States, so it doesn't bother us. I mean, the sports reference would not bother me in any city just because I don't watch the sports. But hey, Elias got his heat, and we got a big surprise. Edge, the rated R
That was cool.
superstar, coming out. Huge pop. Like, so I've been to a lot of shows, and I thought he got like a Stone Cold or Rock level pop from their
Yeah,
peaks.
it was a big pop.
The place erupted. It was huge. And it was a really fun moment. Edge coming out, hitting Elias with a spear. Nice surprise. I'm glad we got something like this. If I had to nitpick, I would have put this on the main card and not the kickoff. But hey, we got to see Edge make a surprise appearance. Good stuff here. Either of you have any other thoughts about that?
No, I
Kaylee?
mean, it was just what you said.
Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, as Vince McMahon would say, it was some good shit. And I could say shit because, well, I have to, because it was actually said on this show. More on that later. So we had the last kickoff match, which was the women's tag team match. And Aaron noted on Twitter, the women's tag match was so irrelevant that they didn't even show it on the big screen in the arena. So Aaron, what were your thoughts on this? The Iconics challenging Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross on the kickoff.
Honestly, I went to the bathroom.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, we missed a lot of it.
I'm not a big fan of Alexa Bliss. I like Nikki Cross, and the Iconics make my ears hurt. So it was like the perfect bathroom match for me. I did not care.
Well, there you go. And also it was right before the main card was
Yes.
starting, so that was a good time to hit the bathroom. Caitlin, would you concur with Aaron's comments?
Yeah. I mean, we didn't see much of it.
Yeah,
Watched
we
the
we
entrances
we
and
saw
then
the
walked
pin,
up.
and that was about it.
Yeah,
so.
entrances in the pin.
All right. I really have nothing much to say about it. It was, pretty much expected that Iconics were going to lose the rematch, and they're moving down the ladder. But they did have a good moment this weekend where they were on top of the CN Tower, so there you go. At least they got their big SummerSlam moment. All right, so we had the main card, which kicked off with Pyro. Pyro finally returning to the non-WrestleMania or non-stadium WWE
Which they
shows.
warned us of
Which
a
was
few
weird.
seconds
When
before.
when they
Warned
said
us.
that, like, everybody popped big for that. Everyone was excited for the return of Pyro. And we have a $10 super chat. What do we have here, Caitlin?
Greg Mahar. Hey Aaron, sorry to go off topic so soon, but seeing as it's my birthday today, 12th in the UK, I thought I would send my first donation. Thanks for all your content. Keep up the great work. Thumbs up. B+.
SummerSlam B+ from Greg. All right, well, Greg, thank you so much for the super chat. You're the new champion, NoDQ super chat champion, and
Happy birthday.
happy birthday to you.
Cut.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think there is like a copyright on that, anyways. If you sing happy
Oh,
birthday,
is there?
I think so. I always heard that, but I don't know if it's the
Probably
case.
your
or not.
way of getting out of it, always.
There you go.
All right.
There's always an excuse when you need one, as they say.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we had Pyro. Very cool opening for the show. Glad to have Pyro back. I definitely felt more excited with the Pyro, and I'm happy to see it return. I definitely think it's an expense worth investing in. We had the first match, which was the women's submission match, Becky Lynch versus Natalya. Becky was really over in Canada, so no boos for her. I was wondering, like, would she get a mixed reaction? Would fans start to turn against her? But not Toronto. They were very much into Becky. Natalya got a good amount of boos despite coming out with the Canadian flag, but a number of people noted that she got a reaction, and a lot of times she doesn't get like these huge reactions. People were making noise for her, whether it was cheering or booing. This might have been the most heated match of Natalya's career, and I thought that this was a really strong match. The crowd heat was there, and I thought both of them looked strong. It was back and forth. Becky put the sharpshooter on Natalya at one point. Crowd was going crazy for this. They were chanting, "This is awesome." I mean, I really enjoyed this match a lot. Caitlin, what were your overall thoughts on it?
Yeah, I liked it a lot. I thought the crowd energy was great, which really helped out. A lot of dueling chants and back and forth. Yeah, I liked it. I thought it was a great way to kick off the show, and they both did their part.
Now, Natalya did not win, but did you feel like
Wearing the natty shirt, by the way.
Do you feel like she came out stronger in defeat despite the loss? Do you think she still had a good showing?
Well,
here?
Josh Mansfield agrees. He says best match of Natalya's career.
I mean, that's definitely an arguable point, I think. I mean, would you go that far, Aaron? Do you think that was maybe the best match? I mean, name a better Natalya
Yeah.
match.
Well, people talk about that one with like back in NXT, or she went to NXT and fought Charlotte, I think, and then
Right.
they talked.
That might have been up there.
Charlotte on the main roster, which is kind of okay.
I mean,
Yeah.
certainly main roster, that's got to be up there for Natalya's best matches. You know, the heat was there, the work was good. And yeah, I expected Becky to retain, but yeah, I think Natalya got a really good showing here,
Yeah.
you know. I think going in, a lot of people weren't really expecting much out of this, and you know, I think they perhaps exceeded a lot of people's expectations.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
So next up, get the clock out. We had Bill Goldberg versus Dolph Ziggler. Ziggler came out, cut his promo, talking about how he's the best damn thing to happen to pro wrestling. Again, using the term pro wrestling, which I think is great. I'm very amused whenever he says that. Goldberg came out. He had his big pyro, you know, the old school Goldberg entrance. Ziggler hit a super kick right away, and Goldberg basically kicked out before the count of one, instant kick out. Ziggler hit a second one. Once again, Goldberg kicked out. Goldberg won 146 with the jackhammer, and we're going to have to check with Noah Foster to see who won the tiebreaker. I'm not sure who was the closest to that.
Well, I think he said Jerry had
Jerry.
148 or something. Or
Oh, maybe you're right. So Jerry might have been the winner of our predictions for SummerSlam.
that's a big deal for him. He's always last place
yeah.
in the list.
So after the match, Goldberg was leaving, and Ziggler got on the mic and was calling out Goldberg back to the ring and saying, and I quote here, don't demonetize this, YouTube, I'm just quoting, I'm reporting here. Ziggler said, any dipshit can hit one move. To which Goldberg, his music hit, he came back out, hit another spear to Ziggler, and then he left. Ziggler once again called out Goldberg. Goldberg came out a third time and hit another spear, and Ziggler sold it like a total pro, like Shawn Michaels, Hulk Hogan 2005 from SummerSlam. So Aaron, I'll start with you. Overall thoughts on the match. Do you think that WWE utilized Goldberg properly here?
I mean, this was obviously a makeup match for the Super Showdown, and Ziggler just took it, like always. He just, I mean, yeah, he sold it great, but he just gets buried and buried and buried. Like, the first time he came back, I thought it was funny. The second time Ziggler called him back, I was like, okay, this is just stupid. It's just making Ziggler look stupid, and it's clearly just to try and make Goldberg look better from what happened there. So I kind of got annoyed by it at the end of it, and you just kept like hoping something else was going to happen, and then it didn't.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
So,
Like I thought something else was gonna
like I was
happen
hoping,
the
I
more
was
he
hoping
was like
so
coming
much that
back.
Matt Riddle would come out since they had been.
Yeah, well, there was definitely a rumor about that maybe he was going to show up, but no, Matt Riddle. See, I thought it was perfectly done. I thought it was a very good way to utilize Goldberg. They did a short match and they stretched it out a little bit, so you got a little bit more than just Goldberg out there for a minute and a half. You had Ziggler calling him out and talking trash. So I thought it was excellent. I thought it was an excellent way to utilize Goldberg and make the most out of him. And Ziggler was selling like crazy, so I loved it. I was having a good time with it. I thought it was exactly what was needed to be done. I mean, you could argue maybe Goldberg shouldn't be there in the first place, but if you're going to use him, that was the best way to do it, in my opinion.
I just think I was like laughing by the end of it, so it kind of like lost its seriousness because it got so ridiculous. So
I was just entertained.
Why.
I was having a good time. There was a smile on my face, so Vince was doing his job.
There you go.
So next up we had AJ Styles versus Ricochet. Ricochet came out for his entrance. He had like this new Power Ranger gear. Crowd loved Ricochet, but there were some people cackling and making jokes about his gear.
Yeah, what was he supposed to be? Does anybody know?
I don't know.
Not me.
I'm
See
still
if the
trying to
chat
figure
knows.
it out.
Power Rangers?
Power Rangers, yeah. Nightwing or Black Panther.
Yeah, I mean, people were making jokes about it throughout. Hey everybody, are we back?
Can you see it?
Let us know in the chat room. I think we're back.
Yeah, they said we were back.
Okay, it says we're back, so we'll keep going here. I was scared for a minute. I thought we were having another incident.
No caller ID, someone said.
No, it's not that. Okay, so Ricochet came out for his entrance, and he was stalling for a long time. I don't know what was going on, but he was in there, just standing there. His music was playing, and I'm not sure what was happening on TV, but he was just standing in there, and he was wondering, like, what's going on here? Colin Andrew with a $5 super chat. Thank you, Colin Andrew. He says, have a donut on me. So thank you for that, Colin Andrew. I appreciate it. Congratulations on being the new NoDQ super chat champion. Maybe we could get maybe one clap and a Ric Flair.
Okay.
Woo!
Okay. So, AJ Styles, Ricochet. I thought it was a decent match. However, I felt like they were holding back. And this was actually something I was chatting with earlier in the day at our meetup with someone. The fact that on these WWE pay-per-views, you know AJ and Ricochet can go out there and perform at a high level. Like, they can do the type of matches we see in NXT. But it just didn't happen here. Like, it felt like they were holding back and they weren't allowed to go out there and have a type of match that they could have on a major pay-per-view. Instead, you know, they went out there and had your middle of the card match, which is what it was. But yeah, it's just when you know they can do so much more, it's a little bit of a letdown that they don't go all out on the second biggest show of the year. So Caitlin, thoughts on the match overall? And we had AJ Styles retaining the title. So I mean, any surprises here? I mean, is this in line with what you expected? I mean, what were your thoughts on it?
Well, I believe it's what I predicted for this match. But, yeah, same thing as what you said, but I was fine with it because the crowd, again, the energy I thought was good for this match. There's lots of chanting and different chants picking up, and actually, the chants really picked up easily throughout the night. Anytime someone would start something, like one person, instantly it was on. So that was really fun. So that kind of kept this match up for me, even though it did disappoint a little bit, I guess.
All right, we do have a super chat from Power Packers 90. So Power Packers 90, you're the new champ. He says, R-Truth and Drake were at the international announcers area in a 24/7 spot, hence the delay. 11-time champion baby. Okay, so there you go. So they did some angle with them. Now they did do, we forgot to mention, they did do something on the kickoff too, where R-Truth was there and Drake ended up like tripping on something. Oh, and I do want to mention Drake Maverick and what was the backstage segment he did with the New Day? That was really entertaining. They had a funny segment, and then Street Profits also had a funny segment with Ric Flair, styling and profiling and all that stuff. So I did like the backstage segments we had on the show. But anyways, back to the match. Aaron, any other thoughts you have regarding that?
I was kind of pointed at it a little bit, and you know, you had like the stereotypical AJ is a heel with the club out there
Henchman.
with them, and of course they're gonna interfere in the match and make it hard for Ricochet to win. It was just kind of very stereotypical match.
And afterwards, so not only did AJ win clean, but well, not really clean. You had Anderson and Gallows out there interfering, and for some reason the referee did not kick them out. I don't know why, but AJ picked up the win, and then after the match, we got the Magic Killer for good measure. There you go, Aaron, getting a compliment in the chat room. So yeah, I was a little surprised that they just beat down Ricochet after the match. I mean, it wasn't really necessary in my opinion. And where does poor Ricochet go from here? It felt like he's being moved down the card. I don't know.
The finish was cool though with that, because it was a reverse right into the Styles Clash. That was actually pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
I did like the finish of that a lot.
Agree.
All right, so next up we had Bayley versus Ember Moon, which going in I figured was going to be the bathroom break match of the evening. Just didn't feel like it was going to be anything noteworthy, and really wasn't. The crowd was booing Bayley quite a bit, and they started chanting "We want Sasha." No Sasha on this show, by the way. So that was a little disappointing. I think some people were hoping for a Sasha surprise return, but it did not happen.
I was too.
Crowd was not.
You know, the
Hot for
hey Bayley.
It's kind of disappointing though that people weren't more into this match, because both Bayley and Ember Moon are really good,
Frozen.
and they could have put on like a really Frozen.
Oh,
Oh.
they said we were, but I guess we're back. Okay.
Well, they could have
Carry on.
They could have put on a really good match that people could have been into, but the story there was no build, so people just didn't care, and it's kind of too bad because it had the potential to be like something we saw with like Io Shirai and like Candice LeRae. I feel like.
Yeah.
Right, could have been a breakout match for them. Caleb Jacobs Experience with a $3 super chat says, "That's the Goldberg from WCW I remember." And I agree on that. I agree on that 100%, Caleb, and that's why I think it was a very effective segment. So, Caitlin, your thoughts on this match and Bayley retaining? I mean, do you think they could have done it any better? Like, what could have they done with this match to make it more memorable, if anything?
Yeah, I'm not really sure on that question. It was okay. Like, yeah, it was sort of another lull moment before we picked back up again for the rest of the show, in my opinion. So.
I mean, I think my answer to that question would be, first of all, you needed...
You missed my super chat? No, we didn't.
Okay, we are back. Caleb Jacobs, we got your super chat. I agree with you about the old WCW Goldberg. Next up, we had Kevin Owens versus the best in the world.
Shane
McMahon.
Hopefully we don't have to hear that anymore now.
Don't get your hopes up on that.
Yeah.
Kevin Owens, of course, super over in Toronto, in his home country. Crowd was chanting, "Shane, you suck," and "You can't wrestle." Crowd really wanted to see Shane get beat up. So, I mean, this match did have the good heat. You know, some people say, is Shane getting go-away heat? The crowd wanted to see Kevin Owens kick his butt. They were into the beatdown. Shane brought out Elias as his special enforcer, and Elias attempted to interfere. And I actually thought that this was really creative stuff because, of course, the stipulation was if Kevin Owens lost the match, he would be gone from the company. He would be forced to quit. So Elias threw a chair into the ring, and Shane was taunting Owens to hit him with the chair so Owens would get disqualified and then his career would be over. So I thought that this was pretty creative stuff here for this match and making the most out of that stipulation, and Shane trying to take every little corner, cut every corner possible to try and win the match, try to use every tactic he could. But in the end, Kevin Owens did win with the Stone Cold Stunner. Crowd was very happy. Caitlin, overall, your thoughts on the match?
I loved it, especially because I did not have any expectations for this match. We got up to go to the bathroom when it started.
I actually did not.
Yeah, she didn't because she already went. But
It's true.
but we got back before it started, and we did see the whole match, and it was just a surprise for me. I thought it was going to be nothing, and the crowd was super hot for this match.
Oh yeah, they were really into it. So for all the things people say about Shane and how they're sick of him, crowd was very much into this. Aaron, your thoughts overall?
Yeah, honestly, this was the match that brought me back into SummerSlam because I was kind of like, I'm kind of bored right now. I didn't really like the couple matches before, and that really got me back into it. And it's crazy because I like hate Shane McMahon.
Yeah.
But you can kind of tell the crowd is like a little bit over him though, because you know when KO got the chair, you actually literally had the crowd chanting, "No, don't hit him with it," because they did not want him to get disqualified and lose.
Right.
Like that was crazy to me. Normally, you don't ever. See
Yeah, they're
that.
just like, just
do
do
it.
it.
Who cares? But
Not this time.
everybody wanted KO to win that bad and wanted him to win clean, so that blew my mind a little bit.
Yeah. So, yeah, surprisingly, I think this was better than expectations for sure. Next up, we had Trish Stratus versus Charlotte in Trish's retirement/farewell match. I don't think she got quite as big of a reaction as Edge. Actually, I know she didn't.
Mm-hmm.
It was not nearly as good as Edge's reaction. But then again, I think that's why I think the argument was valid that maybe Trish should have come back as a surprise, like been a surprise opponent for Charlotte. Charlotte issuing an open challenge, and then I think Trish would have got a much bigger reaction than she did. The match was good. I thought it was very solid. I think the crowd was starting to get a little bit tired during it though, but the crowd did get into it towards the end. They were chanting "This is awesome," and I do think overall the crowd was very invested in it. Aaron, I'll start with you. Your overall thoughts on the match, which by the way, Charlotte did win via submission with the figure 8.
I liked it. I figured it would be good, and it was pretty good. Charlotte usually, honestly, kind of delivers the matches, and
Yeah.
you knew Trish Stratus was going to be good too. I definitely don't think she got as big of a pop as I thought, and I kind of thought with Charlotte beating her, I thought Charlotte would get booed more too than she did, and she didn't get the healing.
Actually,
I
like they
thought
were
she
booing
won.
her during the match, but then cheered her when she won.
Yeah, it
felt
was
like.
kind of just there wasn't much when she won. I thought she'd get booed a lot harder, but overall, I enjoyed it.
Now, Caitlin, do you think like it was the right finish for Trish to put over Charlotte here?
Yeah, but I mean, I think it would have been a cool moment for Trish to win, but overall, yes,
Yeah.
Charlotte.
I mean, I agree on that just because I think it's the time-honored tradition to put over somebody. Yeah, Trish winning would have been a nice feel-good moment, but, you know, Charlotte gets elevated and she's the one that's sticking around, so to me...
Yeah, but I think she's already elevated, and she's,
Yeah.
you know, not like this is giving her something she doesn't already have, in my opinion.
Right.
Anyway.
I'm sure there are some mixed opinions on it. I'm sure there's some people that feel that Trish should have gotten a victory in her final match. She did get a standing ovation afterwards, and she bowed to the crowd, took a bow to have her send off, and yeah, good stuff here, very solid. And Seth Rollins was shown on the big screen and got a lot of boos. And then
Yeah.
Bret
Yeah,
Hart
he
did
did.
make a cameo appearance. So interestingly enough, Bret did not come out with Natalya, but rather did a backstage cameo and shook Rollins' hand, which is kind of funny considering what Bret has said in interviews about how Seth is too reckless and whatnot and been critical of him. So I found that kind of amusing personally. Next up, we had the WWE Championship match. We had Randy Orton versus Kofi Kingston. Some interesting chants. We had Kofi stupid chants and then Randy sucks chants, dueling chants back and forth.
Dueling negative chants.
Yeah, I guess Kofi stupid was a pro Randy Orton chant. I would presume, but
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
it was a unique chant. I wasn't expecting that going in. Randy Orton hit the RKO on Kofi, but Kofi managed to roll to the outside, and then the two of them started fighting on the outside, and there was a count out. The match was thrown out. Kofi Kingston retained, so I technically got it right. And this is actually in line with what I predicted for the match, because I figured they were going to keep this feud going. This wasn't going to be a one-off. I figured next pay-per-view it would be the rematch, and Kofi would retain, and then maybe next pay-per-view Randy Orton wins the title to go into the Fox era. That was what I was thinking when we did the predictions, and step one has gone down.
True.
Yeah. So the crowd, of course, did not like this. They chanted bullshit, and after the match, Randy Orton got beat up with the kendo stick by Kofi, and crowd started booing Kofi at this point. So they turned on him. I'm not sure if it was just the match or if they're just sick of Kofi. Could be a combination of both. So Caitlin, your thoughts on the match, and what do you think about the match being thrown out and not having a decisive winner?
I pretty much enjoyed the match. It was going good up until the end. I guess I don't really mind the ending because, you know, there's usually at least one. Oops, sorry.
There's usually one screwy finish on
Yeah,
the pay-per-view.
so I mean, can't get too mad at it, I guess. It was the only kind of messed up ending of the night.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point. If they had done like 3 or 4 DQs or countouts,
Yeah,
that would have been annoying. I mean, but one person did note, or maybe a couple people noted actually, that last year for the WWE title match, they also did the same type of finish.
Oh,
So
yeah, I
it's
would
2 years
remember
in a row.
that.
Yeah, I already forgot about it too. I'll probably forget.
Are we back?
I think we are back.
Hey.
So next up we had, yeah, I did mention lots of boos for Kofi Kingston post match. I apologize, guys. I don't know what's going on here. At least we're able to come back. Like,
I loved the stupid chants with the kendo stick. I
Yeah.
think that was my favorite. chant.
stupid.
That was great. And then Randy sold it really good too. He was like in the ring basically till like the next match started, just like dying.
Right?
He rolled out and walked off. He was
Oh,
fine.
Virtue was also a highlight of this match.
Oh, Virtue was great. If you guys haven't seen the video, go on the NoDQ.com Twitter. You could see Virtue and Noah's reaction to the New Day intro. Oh, what was that? But Caitlin looked so annoyed when the video froze. Yeah, well,
Pretty much.
I think that speaks for all three of us here because, you know,
Because it's late.
it ruins our vibe.
Not as
too.
late as it could have been, but
Yeah,
Exactly.
so you can't complain too much.
Right.
Yeah. So next up, we had maybe the highlight of the entire show. We had Bray Wyatt versus Finn Balor. Bray Wyatt with his new Fiend entrance, remix of his old song. I absolutely love this. If I had to nitpick, I would say Bray probably sold too much and it should have been more of a squash. But overall, I thought this was fantastic. Caitlin, your thoughts on the new Bray Wyatt entrance, the whole package?
loved it. This was my favorite part of the night. The whole thing, from the entrance to the match to the ending and his walkout and pose and all of that. Yeah, I just completely love it. I hope they don't mess him up. The head was really a
That
nice
was so
touch.
freaky.
Yeah, oh yeah, really cool stuff.
That mask is just perfect.
I like thought that it was so smart what they did too, because I don't know if you guys like noticed, like Finn Balor was completely in white, so it was definitely like a really big plan, like good versus evil.
Right.
So I really liked that. I thought that was really smart, and I thought Balor, when he came out, he sold that really well. How terrifying it was, and you know, like if you see like an Undertaker entrance live. And
Yeah.
you just get like goosebumps, like it definitely like had that kind of feeling.
That's how it was.
It was seriously, and then they like pan down. You see the lantern, and it pans down, and it's his head like stretched over the lantern, like.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was just amazing. It was awesome to
yeah.
see live. I want to go back and watch it, what it looked
Oh,
like
yeah.
for everyone else too.
It was, yeah. I'm so glad we got to see it live.
Oh, Mike B with a $5 super chat says SummerSlam was definitely better than expected. A- for
Agreed.
me. Hope you have a great rest of your time in Toronto. Well, thank you for that, Mike
Not
B.
much left, but
Yeah. Yeah, I loved it. Everything about it. I love the new music. I love the whole entrance. The vibe in the arena. It felt like something special.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
really hope WWE doesn't blow it with Bray because it felt like Undertaker at his peak. You know, in terms of the cool factor of the character. It's been a while since you watch Raw and you're like, this is really badass. And Bray Wyatt has that factor right now. Like, this guy is something special, and they've done an excellent job of reinventing his character.
I like this question, so I want you to do it.
Oh, Taker versus Wyatt at Mania, and Wyatt squashes Taker, ending his career to really get him over. Your
Wow.
thoughts? I like it. Oh, King Spartan
Oh.
3...
You didn't give it attention.
Okay, let's give it 2 claps and a Ric Flair.
All right. Woo!
Okay, now for the super chat from King Sparta 375299. $5, and he did spell your name wrong, but he says Caitlin is awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you for that. And you're the new NoDQ super chat champion, but you do not get 2 claps and a Ric Flair because you did not spell your name correctly. So Nah.
Just a Ric Flair.
Woo. There you go. She was nice. She gave you the Ric Flair for the shout out. Okay, so yeah, I love the Bray Wyatt stuff, and I'm curious to see where it goes next. Hopefully it's a sign of bigger things to come for him. Another idea, not just the Undertaker idea, but also, you know, Balor can take his time off, and I would save it for WrestleMania perhaps. Balor eventually comes back, you get the Demon versus the Fiend, you keep building up Bray. That could be a top WrestleMania match, and maybe Demon Balor finally loses, or maybe you could have Balor win somehow. Maybe Balor reinvents his character a little bit, but yeah, I would definitely, bring back Balor and consider doing that at some point. Demon versus the Fiend, perhaps at WrestleMania.
Leatherface said, "What did you think of the neck break?" That was interesting because it was not expected.
I liked it. It's a throwback. If you guys remember, maybe the Fiend is hiding behind the window here.
Terrifying.
It would be
Please, no.
terrifying. So I think it reminded me of Hogan and the Giant back in WCW when the Giant came out at Fall Brawl. He did the same neck twist to Hogan, to Hulk Hogan. That was back in '95. So yeah, that's like an old school wrestling maneuver that hasn't been used in a very long time. I love seeing that back, and the crowd really reacted to it too.
Well,
Yeah.
it was like perfect for his character. When,
Yeah,
You
absolutely.
would expect him to like try and kill
Taking everything
whoever.
bigger.
Yeah.
And I like the mandible claw too as his finisher and pinning the guy.
Maybe.
Who's
Back again.
back? Shady's back.
Watch now, it
Tell a
doesn't.
friend. Guess who's back?
Guess who's back? Guess who's back? Guess who's back? Na 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 na.
All right.
Anyways.
I'm too tired to remember the lyrics. I'm like, how long can I go with that? And I don't even remember the lyrics for it.
It's been a while for that song though.
It has
Yeah.
been. We'll have to listen to it on the way back.
We should.
Okay, so we had the main event. Brock Lesnar defending the Universal Championship against Seth freaking Rollins. As I mentioned earlier, Rollins did get some boos. Rollins started off hot with Lesnar and hit the curb stomp right away. One thing I thought was really cool about this was Rollins had a counter for the suplex. Like every Brock Lesnar match, Brock always gets them with the suplexes. But twice, Seth Rollins managed to counter out of the suplex, and then he hit the curb stomp, but Lesnar, of course, kicked out. Lesnar then hit an F5, which Rollins kicked out of, and the crowd started chanting, "This is awesome." So, like 3 minutes into the match, the crowd was already chanting, "This is awesome." They were really into it. Rollins ended up getting on the top rope. Lesnar was on the Spanish announce table, or maybe it was the other one, the third one. But nonetheless, Rollins did the big frog splash through the table. Crowd loved that. Rollins hit another curb stomp, but Lesnar kicked out. And then at this point, the crowd had turned in favor of Seth Rollins, which I thought was really fascinating. We'll get to these super chats here in a minute. The crowd was booing. The crowd was booing.
Hell of an internet connection you got there, Red.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
It was fine last night.
Yeah.
I thought the booking here was really well done, and the fact that the crowd got in Rollins' favor again, I thought that was really impressive. So hats off to WWE, Seth Rollins, Brock Lesnar for getting the crowd into it at the end and telling the story of Rollins slaying the Beast, which is really what I felt needed to happen. I mean, to me, Rollins had to win this match. Otherwise, it would have just ruined his character. He was beaten down so badly in those weeks leading up to the show. He had to get the win here. So, Aaron, I'll start with you. You got this Seth Rollins shirt.
You can see who I wanted to win.
Thoughts on the match?
I think this actually, I don't think this was like the only match that like at the end like we actually stood up for. Like when he curb stomped Lesnar and pinned him, we all jumped up and cheered. Like it was a good match. This was kind of like more what I expect the WrestleMania match to be, because I always think Lesnar has better matches with smaller guys. He always does. Like he always works better with those guys, I personally think, as opposed to where they just punch each other.
Yeah.
So the AJ Styles match, the Finn Balor match, who was the other one? Daniel Bryan. So I was hoping this would be more like that, and it was. I really liked where he like grabbed Rollins' bandage and like swung him around, like
Yeah, that was
dragged
cool.
all that, like that was crazy.
Yeah, that was really cool.
It was booked really well, and Rollins had definitely won over the crowd by the end. I think he was like actually crying. At the
Yeah,
end
he
of the
was.
show.
Like he
It was like a Shawn Michaels 96 moment from WrestleMania 12.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so Mike B with a $5 super chat. He says, hopefully WWE doesn't F up the new Bray Wyatt character. Perhaps the new champ down the
Agreed.
line. Glad Seth won. Wow, glad Seth won. Congratulations to Mike B for being the new champion. Can we do 2 claps and a Ric Flair?
Sure.
Woo! All right, thank you for that, Mike B. Caitlin, your thoughts overall on the match?
This is another one that I personally was not excited about or thinking was going to do too much for me, and
How are you?
And then there was a comment from Jeff Meacham in the chat room. He said Brock's best match since his 2012 return.
All right.
What about CM Punk? What do you guys think in the chat? Was this match with Rollins better than the CM Punk match? I don't know about that one, but this was a hell of a match. Psycho Jet Black with a $5 super chat. He's the new NoDQ super chat champion. He says, hey Caitlin, rank your favorite to least favorite person. TJS, Virtue, and Big G. You're entitled to plead the fifth on this.
I like all NoDQ family the same.
Aw.
But I did meet Virtue this. And time for letter grades.
Basically, so we don't freeze again here.
Yeah, let's get
Do
it
the
done.
super chats and letter grades.
Okay, looks like we're back again. I apologize again, everyone. The game is on 100 until the stream freezes again. With a $2 super chat says, I figured Rollins wins title due to his guarantee. I agree. Again, it's been done in WWE history when the babyface makes a guarantee. It's a Vince McMahon policy. When a babyface guarantees victory, it happens. So I was like, Vince is still running the company. So for Rollins to go out there and say that, Vince is still scripting that line. And I don't think Vince would script that line unless Seth was actually winning the title. And I know in this era of WWE, plans can change, but Vince, I don't think would script that unless he wanted Seth to win the title. And then we had a $5 super chat here from King Spartan 375299. He says, Caitlin and Aaron almost got the spelling right. It's with an I
Close.
instead of a Y, but we'll give you credit. What was your least favorite match of the night? Probably the Bayley title match. What do you think?
Yeah.
And
Same.
why didn't he ask Aaron's opinion on that?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Well, let's get your opinion. Least favorite match.
Least favorite match.
You could just say the Bayley match.
Might have been AJ. No, maybe Bayley. I don't know. I honestly don't know.
Oh, wow. Jeff Meacham with a $5 super chat. Jeff wants to say, so much emotion through all this. Great pay-per-view. Solid weekend. Missing you all. Oh, Jeff, we miss you too. And you were there with us in spirit today at the meetup, that's for sure. And I was glad to get you on FaceTime there for a little bit. Quite a few people were asking about you and wondering where you were at. I told them, unfortunately, Jeff could not make it, but you know, he definitely wanted to be there with everybody. All right, so now we can go ahead and do letter grades, and then we'll wrap things up here. I thought it was really solid. I thought the beginning was strong. The first 2 matches, the Goldberg stuff, and I'm talking about the main card, of course. Then I felt it kind of fell downhill, and then it picked up again towards the end with the Bray Wyatt stuff, and then the main event was really strong. So I will give it a solid B. Caitlin.
I'm going to go based off of my own enjoyment and how I felt during them. So I'm going to give an A- and actually tie it from what I gave for NXT.
Really?
Yep.
Wow, interesting. Aaron.
I also think it was a B. I enjoyed TakeOver more.
Now see, I may have enjoyed SummerSlam more. I'm not sure. Like, I had a really fun time at SummerSlam.
Yeah, that's like what I was talking about. Because like also like my energy level yesterday was just really bad, and tonight it felt so much better. So that played into it.
Yeah, I think the wrestling matches were better on TakeOver, but I
Yes.
felt like
I guess
Just-
if the crowd was, I thought maybe the crowd was actually better at SummerSlam.
Yeah, maybe.
Is
Helps.
not usually I would feel like how that is.
I felt we had a
Yeah.
few more memorable moments on SummerSlam. TakeOver had better wrestling matches, but
Yes.
SummerSlam had better moments, like the Bray Wyatt stuff in particular. You know,
That was
Trish,
awesome.
Edge coming back, Rollins regaining the title. You had some really cool moments that I think we'll remember more than the TakeOver stuff. I think most of TakeOver, as good as the matches were, I don't know if it's stuff we'll be talking about a year from now. So, I give the slight edge to SummerSlam. Might be a controversial opinion, but hey, I said it. They were both really solid, and I've been lucky enough that the shows where it's been TakeOver and the WWE pay-per-view, they've both been solid. All right, so Psycho Jet Black with a $2 super chat says EC3 is the new Wade Barrett, wasted potential. Yeah, I think we would all agree on that one. The This Guy Experience with a $5 super chat says, Champ again, you never answer my question. Do you think Kofi would make it in AEW? I guess I missed that question. Do you think Kofi would make it in AEW? Seth Rollins is a fake a-hole. Why waste the briefcase on Brock if Seth got it back? Just to give something Brock to do and get him back into the main event
I did wonder
storyline?
about that, but
Yeah, I mean, I felt it could have been used elsewhere. But hey, we got Brock Lesnar using the briefcase as a beatbox. So to me, it was worth it. Although I would have also liked to have seen a lengthy Money in the Bank holder, which we haven't gotten in a while now. So yeah, congratulations to the This Guy Experience for being the new champion. Daniel Gonzalez gave the show an A. Brad Sanger gave it a B+. Daniel Gonzalez, I already said him, gave it an A. D. Ross 2 with a B-. Michael Wayne with a B+. Curtis Butler with a B+. Warhawk Rambo with a B+. ARS757 with an A-. And D. Ross 2, I think I said him already. Are you guys just repeating it over and over so
Yeah,
I get you to read it?
pretty much. That's what I do.
There
When
you
you're
go.
doing-
Josh Mansfield with a $5 super chat. Josh says, $5 for all the freezing tonight. Oh, you're so sweet, Josh. I appreciate it. He says, you guys rock. Caitlyn is the queen. Damn right she is. And he says, I challenge good old JM to a sing-off for the good old JM title. Wow, that's interesting. Hashtag Virtues Army. And speaking of Jeff Meacham has a message here, $5. Where's Jeff getting this money? Just playing with you, Jeff. Jeff says, to all asking, plans are Aaron and I live recapping Hell in a Cell. Absolutely. I hope to be able to be back in California to do a video with good old JM. Reunited, and it feels so good. Congratulations to Jeff. You're the new NoDQ Super Chat champion. We got to do something special for him. How many Ric Flairs? Two Ric Flairs.
Okay.
Two Ric Flairs and a clap. Woo! Woo!
You've messed us up.
Oh, I'm sorry. I messed that way up.
All right.
Okay, how about a clap, snap, and a Ric Flair?
All right, go.
Woo!
Oh, I said Rick. Can never get it right. So, Jeff Meacham's the new champion. All right, so Hoof Hearted with a $5 super chat. Hoof Hearted says, "Can we be rid of Brock Lesnar now?"
I hope so.
I would be surprised
I doubt it,
he's
though.
gone. Yeah, I mean, I think he'll be back. He'll probably be Universal Champion again at this point. Like,
Ugh.
I just think he's gonna keep coming back. You know, he's
Probably.
like, what's something that goes away and
Why
comes
doesn't
back all the
He
time?
can go bother Kofi for a while.
Yeah.
Really.
Let's
Maybe
take
he
the-
will. I
let's
mean,
take
there's
the
still
title
that
off Kofi.
possibility for SmackDown. All right, so we'll go ahead and wrap this up before the stream freezes yet again. I thank you guys for your patience and viewership. I'm sure the on-demand version will be better and not quite as awkward. Oh, wait a minute, Caitlin. Hank Schrader on the
Oh, my
shitter.
favorite guy.
Hank Schrader says, I'm late, but I'm here. Pay-per-view was pretty good. And more Aaron and less Aaron, LOL. She is too sweet. All right, Jay, fine then. All right, so thank you for that, Hank Schrader on the shitter. You're the new NoDQ Super Chat champion. He's awesome, right?
Yes.
No? You gotta say it properly. He's awesome. What would Walter White say?
You're goddamn right.
Yes! There you go.
on.
Oh, Jeff Meacham with a $2 super chat says, gotta end as the winner. It doesn't work that way, Jeff. You gotta do $5 to be the champ.
I'm about to walk out.
About to protest?
Yep.
We got sushi to finish.
We gotta finish our food here.
I know, right? All right, we'll go ahead and wrap this up. I'm sorry, Jeff, but we gotta say Hank Schrader right now is the champ heading out of this. Quick plugs here, Aaron.
You can find my Twitter, Aaron /
We're
You know, I
Same
can
thing as
normally
last
do
time.
this. I know. It's just like it gets. to
so
where I
tired.
forget.
It's midnight. We want to
Yes.
finish this before midnight. NoDQ.com
Yeah,
/ Aaron.
That. See,
And then
I was
Caitlin.
Right.
NoDQ.com/Caitlin.
Should have had
Caitlin
that
with an
first.
I and a K. And you can find me at Aaron Rift and, of course, NoDQ.com for the very latest. Thank you all so much. I hope you enjoyed the video. Check out the other guys, Virtue and Company, Stefan, Jerry, Noah. They're going to do their own review video, which will be up sometime on Monday. Look out for that, and we'll see you all next time. Have a good night, everyone. Oh, wait a second.
Not for me.
Oh. All right, I'm back. I'm here alone. Everyone thought we were done. I just wanted to acknowledge the This Guy experience as the NoDQ Super Chat champion. So, for Caitlin and Aaron, I'm Aaron. Thank you all so much for watching. I'm going to have a late dinner here, and then we're calling it a night. So thank you guys so much. Take care. Spike your hair. See you next time.